Cafe. I'm your host, Chris Mahan. Each weekday, I give you some tips and strategies you can use to become more successful, both in your personal life and in your business life. So when you get an opportunity, perhaps a short break at work, enjoy one of these 5-minute videos. If you've got a cup of coffee or some other favorite beverage, that's all the better. Let's jump into today's video. During the pandemic, between 10 and 13 million small businesses closed their doors. Fortunately, some were only temporary and they've since reopened, but many shut their doors forever. Now, there are many different reasons why a small business might not succeed. One of those reasons is the failure to adapt to the changing consumer needs, to the changing financial climate that surrounds them, just the way people do business and marketing. There are so many different things that are changing sometimes at a rapid pace. And those businesses that are unwilling to adapt and change along with that pace, well, they may find themselves closing their doors and closing them forever. It kind of reminds me of an episode of Friends. Ross went out and he bought this beautiful couch that he just knew would look fantastic in his living room. Well, he didn't think ahead, because when the couch was delivered, they delivered it to the ground floor. So he and some of his friends started to try to carry the couch upstairs. Now, they had a few short steps that led to a landing, and then there was a 180-degree turn that took the staircase higher up to the next level. Well, they had gotten the couch to the landing, but when they tried to make that turn to go up to the next level, the couch got stuck. And if you recall that scene, Ross is backing, he's got the end and he's leading the way up the stairs and he's yelling, "Pivot, pivot, pivot." He's getting so frustrated because it's just not happening. Well, it can be awfully frustrating for a business if they don't learn how to pivot and make the changes necessary to keep up with the times. Let me give you an example. Carvana began in 2012. They began with what they called a car vending machine. I'm not real sure how it works. I know that my one son wanted to buy a car off Carvana just so that he could go and get it out of a vending machine. He didn't end up doing that, but that was what he said he'd like to do. But if you recall, that was pretty novel, and it garnered quite a lot of attention. And then the pandemic hit. And so car dealerships found themselves having to close their doors in order to comply with many of the mandates regarding the pandemic and being isolated from one another. During that time, Carvana grew by 25% in their sales department. But then in May of 2022, not too many months ago, it was reported that Carvana was going to lay off 12% of its workforce because they had fallen so short of their growth expectations. In fact, things got so bad that 90%, that they experienced a 90% off on their 52-week stock price due to the collapse of consumer interest. Their stock went from a high of $302 and some odd cents to $6.50. Why? Because even though they came into the market with great innovation, they didn't adapt quickly enough to stay along with the changes in the changes that were taking place in the economy and in the buying public. So what about you and your business? I mean, are you still doing things the way you've always done them? Are you afraid to try new things because we've never done it that way before? You need to put all of those negative things aside and ask yourself, what can I do to make my business more relevant to today's consumer, to make it more relevant in today's economic climate? Here we are facing a recession. Interest rates continue to rise. We find ourselves just struggling. What are you doing to adapt your business to the current financial situation. If you don't adapt, you may not succeed. This has been Chris Mahan with Success Cafe. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.